Hi guys. So that clip that you have just seen, it was from yesterday's final walkthrough. I represented buyers. Everything went really smoothly. Everything was fine during the final walkthrough. We had some misunderstandings during the closing at the closing table, but overall we closed. My client is very, very happy. It's a gorgeous home. But that reminded me of one situation I had many, many years ago. It was, I think, my first seller I represented. So I just started real estate and I was doing a transaction and I represented the seller. She was like 80 years old. So it took her really a lot of energy and time to pack up, to move, and so I helped her throughout the process. But anyway, the day of the final walkthrough came in. We already went to the closing table and the buyer was actually doing the final walkthrough with the buyer's agent. And they called us and said, screaming and yelling, mentioning that. So they called us. Sorry, I'm in the Lincoln Tunnel and I got actually disconnected. So they called us and they started screaming and yelling, saying that the house is not ready to be sold. So finally the attorney got involved and is asking what's wrong with the house. And the buyer's agent is saying, okay, the seller left 5 hangers in one of the closets and there is some pieces of clothing hanging on them. I'm like, oh my goodness, is it really a problem? I thought to myself, if I was that buyer's agent, I would just pick up a garbage can, put all that stuff in the garbage, and that's it. That's the end of it, right? But I guess at that time the buyer just got cold feet. Maybe he was not sure about getting the house, so he was looking for a way to get out on the closing date. Anyway, they came to the closing table and then the trouble started because the buyer was so angry for some reason. He said that he's going to sue everyone for those 5 hangers in the closet. He's not signing the paperwork. And he basically started yelling and screaming at everyone. And finally, he threw a big bunch of keys at our attorney, the seller's attorney. And that was our attorney was really angry and stood up and said, listen, either you calm down and sign the paperwork or we're calling the police. So hearing that, the buyer just stormed out of the room, went behind the building. His attorney went after him and it took him 45 minutes to get this guy back in the room to sign the papers. Okay? So that was my first transaction and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, is this really what real estate is all about?